So Heather, from your perspective, what would be an example of concrete action to help speeding up our movement for equality?
Yes, and some of the examples that have been given, I think, are really illustrative of the body of work that is out there globally to tackle this. I also chair Time's Up, which Time's Up was born out of the Me Too movement, very much to tackle the abuse and harassment in the media industry, but also across other sectors in healthcare, technology, in agriculture. And what I think has been so important about the Time's Up movement has been that sense of where women speak up, we can absolutely change the world. And I think increasingly empowering women and women of colour's voice is one of the most important aspects of how we bring about change. And we are seeing change, and certainly in the sector that I've just been referencing, in the media sector, we have seen real strides made around issues of harassment, abuse, exclusion, the lack of representation. So we know it can be done. So I think first of all, I would cite the example of the voice of women and the voice of women of colour, and how together we can make those changes. I mean, anybody who looked at the recent election and the work that Stacey Abrams did to deliver Georgia just shows what can be achieved with that laser-like focus that she brought to bear on that black vote in the state of Georgia. So I think we can cite many, many initiatives. It is about, I think, trying to create a chain that we are all linked. And so whether that's public policy, whether that's setting targets, whether that's empowering the voice of women and women of colour, whether that's by having laws that require companies to publish their data on the gender pay gap that we have here in the UK, and increasingly in sport, all sports federations being put under pressure to ensure that there's gender parity in terms of pay. These are some of the examples that are all about how do we change the culture and the experience of women and women of colour in the fields of sport, or indeed in the sectors of employment. And finally, I want to say and capture a point that's also being touched upon by others, that it is about how we all make this change. It isn't just about how women campaign. It is about all of our male allies, all of those companies and those CEOs, which still are principally led by men, taking up this cause, not only in terms of advocacy, but in terms of how they too can change their companies, as we've been hearing from Unilever, for example, how they can change their companies that really take inclusion to their heart.